Hello everyone, myself Iklasur Rahman and I am the teacher of Samsi Genesis English Schools. So actually I have brought a series of the classes for class 9 and for chemistry. So as we know that in class 9 there are total 4 chapters in chemistry. The first chapter is matter in our surrounding and second one is matter around us is pure. Third is atoms and molecules and 4 is atomic structure. So these chapters are included in our NCERT books for class 9 chemistry. So today we are going to start the new chapter or first chapter, that is matter in our surrounding. First of all, to start the chapter we have to know what is the matter and what is the definition, actual definitions of the matter. What is matter? So this is the questions. What is the matter? Matter is everything what we see in the universe. That means in our universe, the thing which is present are made by matter. Matter is everything what we see in our universe. The foods we eat, the stone we use to make the brick, the mobile phone, etc. Even I have the marker pen and this is made by PVC, polyvinyl chloride. This is also made by a matter. So but question is that how can you understand that whether it's a matter or not? So there are 2 conditions should be applied to be a matter. The first one is it should have definite mass and second one is volume. If these 2 factors are fulfilled, then everything will be matter. Now let's examine. Acha, I have a marker. Is it matter? Yes, it is matter. Why? Because it has a definite mass and it occupies some space in this room. That is why this marker is a kind of key matter. That means matter is everything. Okay. Now, but question is that there are how many states of the matter? There are 3 states of matter. There are 3 states of matter. That means matter can be classified into 3 ways. The first one is solid, second one is liquid and third one is gas. So there are 3 states of the matter on the surface of the earth. Beside these 3 states of the matter, 2 more states of the matter are present. The fourth state is plasma. Fourth state is my plasma and fifth states are bake. The full form of bake is Bose-Einstein condensate state. But basically on the surface of the earth, these 3 states of matter can be found. Whether it should be solid or liquid or gas. But question is that actually what is the plasma? So after completing these 3 states of the matter, then we will move forward to discuss about the plasma. So let's discuss about the solid, liquid and gases. But I want to ask you the questions that why some matter are solid, why some matter are liquid and why some matter are gases. That means the states of the matter should be or states of matter depends on 2 factors. The first factor is, so according to kinetic theory or according to kinetic theory of the matter, the states of the matter depends on 2 factors. The first one is intermolecular force of attraction, intermolecular force of attraction and second one is kinetic energy. kinetic energy, or sometimes it is also known as thermal energy. As you know that the matter are composed by very fine particles or very tiny particles. These particles are called constituent particles. That means the solid matter can be constituted of nth number of very small particles. So this is the solid and this is the liquid, and this is for gas. And so this is the small unit of the matter. That means a matter is composed by a very small unit, that is called constituent particle. So again I would like to ask you the questions. A matter is composed by which particle? A matter is composed by constituent particle. So this is the constituent particle that I have drawn on the board, and these constituent particles may be atoms, number 2 is molecules, or number 3 is ions. That means matter is constituted by a constituent particle, and this constituent particle should be atoms, molecules or ions. In case of solid particles or solid matter, all the particles are getting very close now. Why? Because the intermolecular force of attractions among the solid matter is very high. But if you move from solid to liquid or liquid to gas, then there is some gap between the particles now. But tell me one more thing, in which states of the matter the gap between the particle is maximum? That is for gas. So from here we can say that if gap is maximum in case of gaseous particles, then there should be very least intermolecular force of attractions. Now let's discuss about the kinetic energy. So what does mean the kinetic energy? As you know that kinetic energy equals to half mv square. The m is the mass of the particle, and v is the velocity or movement of the particle. Now tell me one thing, in case of solid states of matter, if the particles are getting very close due to high intermolecular force of attraction, then the movement of the particles will be very less in case of solid states. But due to too much gap between the particles in case of gaseous states, the kinetic energy should be very high. So what we have learned? We have learned that in case of solid states, the intermolecular force of attraction is very high, and intermolecular force of attraction will be very less for gaseous states of matter. And what is the kinetic energy? Kinetic energy is the movement of the particles. Higher the movement of the particles, higher the kinetic energy of the particles. Acha, we can elaborate by using this formula. This kinetic energy is directly proportional to the square of the velocity. That means higher the kinetic energy, higher will be the velocity, and higher will be the velocity, higher the movement of the particles. That is why in case of gaseous states of matter, the kinetic energy is maximum but intermolecular force of attraction is minimum. But in case of solid, the intermolecular force of attraction is very high but kinetic energy is the very low. So from here, or from this concept, we can conclude that this intermolecular force of attraction is inversely related to kinetic energy. Why? Because in case of solid state, the intermolecular force of attraction is very high but kinetic energy is very less. That means these two factors are inversely correlated to each other. So what we have learned? We have learned that there are three states of matter, and states of matter depends on two factors. The first one is intermolecular force of attractions, but number 2 is kinetic energy, or sometimes it is also known as thermal energy. Due to very high intermolecular force of attractions and very low kinetic energy, all the particles are getting very close to form the solid states of matter. But in case of gaseous particle or gaseous states of matter, there are very low intermolecular force of attraction and very high kinetic energy. Very high kinetic energy because there is a lot of gap between the particles. There is some space to move to each other. There should be collision to each other between the particles. We learn in the higher educations that is called the Brownian movement between the particles. So this is the fundamental concept of the different states of the matter. But I would like to ask a question to you. Can we change the states of matter from solid to liquid or liquid to gas? Yes or no? Let's see. How can we change the states of matter from solid to liquid or liquid to gas? My topic is how to convert the solid to liquid or liquid to gas, or from gas to liquid or liquid to solid. Just simple. What we have learned? We have learned that in case of solid states of the matter, all the particles are getting very close due to high intermolecular force of attraction and very low kinetic energy or thermal energy. Achha, we can change the solid to liquid by applying the heat from the outside. If you give the heat from the outside to the solid states, then the particles will be very excited, will be very energetic. Why? Because heat is the form of energy. Heat is the form of energy. So if you give the heat from the outside, that means we are giving the energy. And if we give the energy to the particles, then these particles will be very energetic. And as you know that if the particles gets more energetic, then there should be movement between the particles. And always particles will try to maintain some distance or some space between the particles. That is why when we give the heat, these solid particles turns into liquid. For example, I have a ice. This is the ice. Suppose this is the ice. And if we give the heat to the ice, then automatically ice will convert into water. And as you know that ice is the solid state and water is the liquid state. Simply we can convert the solid state into liquid by applying the heat. So what happened after applying the heat or after giving the heat? After giving the heat, all the particles gets very excited because heat is the form of energy. And by giving heat means to give the energy. And if you supply the energy, then these particles will be very highly energetic. And there would be movement between the particles and kinetic energy also very high. This process, so to change from solid to liquid is called fusion. This process is called fusion or melting. Now tell me, what is the name of this process? To change from solid to liquid, that is the fusion or melting. Again I would like to question, can we change this liquid state to gas? Yes. Again we have to supply the heat. Again we have to supply the heat. If you supply the heat, then these particles will be again very energetic to form the gaseous particles. And this process is called evaporation. Evaporations, or in case of water it will be also known as vaporization. Vaporizations. For example, I have ice, and if ice is a kind of solid state, and if we give the heat, then this ice will turn into liquid or water. Sorry, it will be water. And as you know that water is the liquid state. Again, if you give the heat to the water, then water will start to evaporate to form vapor. to form vapor. So, this process is called melting of ice, and this process is called evaporation of water. Evaporation of water. In this way, we can change the solid into liquid and liquid into gas by applying the process, by applying the heat from the outside. Now tell me one more thing. This is the physical change or chemical change? This changing of process or this changing of states of the matter is a kind of physical process. Why? This is not chemical changes, this is only the physical changes, because ice, water and vapor are made by H2O molecules. That means there is no new chemical product is formed, only physical state is changed. That is why the changing of the states of matter is a kind of physical change, but not chemical change. Again, I would like to ask the questions. Can you change the gaseous state into liquid and liquid into solid? So, let's discuss. So, what is the name? What is the name of this process? This is the melting or fusion, and the name of this process is evaporation or vaporizations are all, and I have given the example also, ice to water, water to water vapor. Acha, now this is the time to ask the questions. Can you change the gaseous states into liquid? Yes. By how? Just simply by releasing the heat. If you want to change from here to here or this process, then we have to apply the heat. In oppositely manner, if you want to change from gaseous to liquid, then we have to release the heat. That means by releasing the heat, we can convert the gaseous state into liquid in the same way from liquid to solid by releasing the heat. By releasing the heat. Now, what is the name of this process? This process is called condensation. This process is called condensation, and this process is called solidification. Solidification. Acha, one more thing. Can you change the solid state directly into gas? Yes, there is also another process or physical process to change from solid to gas directly. This process is known as sublimation. So many times in class 9 examinations, the question is asked, give example of sublimation process. The example of sublimation is melting, example melting of camphor. So this is the example of sublimation process. If we heat the camphor, then it will directly convert into vapor without forming liquid. This is the name of, this is the example of sublimation process. Now again you want to ask the question, sir, how can we convert from gas to liquid directly? This process is called depositions. Okay. So today our topic till now, and next sessions, and what is the exothermic, what is the endothermic reaction, this type of questions or some questions related to this topic will be solved in the next video. So let us connect with us for next video. Thank you.